Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news-making headlines today. This year's NATO summit is taking place in Ankara. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has attended the meeting and proposed upgrading Korea's defense industry partnership with NATO, which will encompass arms sales and joint production and operation. During his talks with NATO Chief Mark Rutte, the leaders agreed to start talks to establish a bilateral procurement agreement which will set legal and administrative grounds for defense industry cooperation. Korea posted a record current account surplus in May, supported by robust semiconductor exports. The Bank of Korea said Wednesday that the country's current account surplus reached $38.61 billion in May. The figure marked the largest monthly surplus on record, up by more than $10 billion from the previous month. The country has now recorded current account surpluses for 37 consecutive months. Strong exports fueled the surplus, as overall exports rose 62.9% on year, and semiconductor shipments surged more than 160%. Korea's economy continues its recovery trend, supported by robust semiconductor exports and a strong service sector. According to the Korea Development Institute's July report released on Wednesday, AI-related tech demand pushed June outbound shipments up by 70.9% year-on-year, with daily semiconductor and computer exports skyrocketing by 179.6% and 281.6% respectively. Backed by the same tech boom, May's facility investment extended its gains by 9.7%. Concurrently, steady growth in financial and professional services boosted overall service production by 4.9% in May, mitigating the impact of a minor 0.9% drop in industrial output triggered by temporary automotive parts supply disruptions. Korea, the United States, and Japan have agreed to speed up the deployment of small modular reactors overseas, with the signing of a new memorandum of cooperation on the sidelines of the NATO summit in Ankara on Tuesday. Foreign Minister Jo Hyun, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Japanese Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi signed the agreement during their first trilateral foreign ministers meeting of the year. The framework will begin with the Indo-Pacific, before expanding cooperation to other partner countries. It aims to bring together the complementary strengths of the three countries' civil nuclear industries, supporting joint business consortia, project financing, and capacity building in recipient countries. SMRs are an advanced class of nuclear fission reactors that produce up to 300 megawatts of electric power. The U.S. military has carried out a series of strikes on Iran after 3 commercial vessels were attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. said this was to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent individuals in an international waterway. The U.S. Treasury also revoked its 60-day sanctions waiver that had temporarily exempted Iranian crude oil, petrochemical products, and petroleum exports from U.S. sanctions. The waiver had authorized the sale of those products under an interim agreement reached between Washington and Tehran as part of a ceasefire deal. Iran condemned Washington's decision to revoke the waiver, calling it a violation of Article 10 of the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, under which the Treasury Department promised to allow Iranian oil exports. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.